3 shots, per par, I just do 2. 1 putt, par 4, birdie, woohoo. New driver, info, replace, M2, par 5, fairway, what you fin do? Think I'll try to get on into, start right, good line, good view, it drew, shoot and make average.
3, 2, 1. Do the T200s compare to the 770s, which we were just talking about, or 790s?
Yeah.
Different club, but which do you prefer?
Similar, I'd guess, right? In step.
Yeah. I do like 790.
It'd be more to the 790s, right? T200s. Yeah.
Yeah, same category. I mean, 790 is nice. The new T200 is so good. It's probably the best line of Titleist irons has released in a long time. And I played like AP2 way back in the day. But T150, T200, T100, T350. I mean, if you haven't tried them, you definitely need to go try them. They're very, very impressive. I mean, listen, T150s took my mirrors out of the bag that have been in there for 4+ years.
You switched to them, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
We got fit for them early June down in California, and we get a lot of gear sent our way, and throughout the year I probably build 4 or 5 sets of irons, but I've always just stuck with my mirrors. And the Titleist guy's like, "What are you looking for?" I was like, "I just want to hit it high. I want to hit it high because that's the only way for me to score at the club, and it's the only way for me to get my cap down, blah, blah, blah." Literally put the irons in the bag. First round with them, 73. And I'm okay. I guess these are staying in the bag.
What was the round before it? Just so I can I want to get an idea of how many shots I can take off.
The round before it was with my mirrors, and it was probably 78. 77, 78, or 79.
So you heard it here first. Getting fit for clubs is important if you didn't already know.
Amen.
Yeah. Damn, man. Yeah, and the T150s, they are beautiful. We were talking with Jake Morrow about those right when they came out.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, Jake's a big fan of yours too. We had Jake on the pod in the past for a future episode. So
love it.
Great guy, really knowledgeable as well.
Yeah, he's cool. Listen, I give him all the credit. He's a hard worker, and I chatted to him last night about some stuff, and he's just grinding, and he's making a name for himself in the industry, which for a young guy like myself, I think him and I are the same age. It's nice to see that happen to a good guy like him. So yeah, I'm excited to see what he does in the next couple of weeks.
He's a cool dude. It sounds like what he's launching will be pretty neat. I think Bryce and I might try to update that one. I think Bryce, sorry, but go ahead.
No, I was just asking, have you ever been fit, Matt?
Yeah. The last ones I was into were fit, and then I'm gonna go see Mikey though. I gotta go. We were talking the other day, Mike. I gotta come see you.
I've never been fit. I still have never been fit for a golf club in my life.
And you shoot 66.
Never, because I've had the same irons in my bag for 7 years, and I just know exactly what they're gonna do.
Is there a club champion close to you?
I have no idea.
Yeah, you should look it up. I mean, at least go. I know you're looking at P7MC, but you should go try everything in that category.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason I was gonna go with TaylorMade. I'm not gonna say why, but I mean, there's a reason. But are the club champions in the States?
Yeah, 110 stores.
Oh, I did not know that. Let's see.
Yeah, there's got to be one close by you. So, all right. So TXG is now club champion. That's kind of the big news of the pod, right? So, Mikey, can you talk? Can we just ask you, like, kind of straight up, like, roll it back when you and Ian got kind of discussing this? Like, how did this come up? What was the first step? I know we'll kind of get into the stages of how things worked and kind of where you guys went. I know you became a club champion by TXG brand, or TXG by club champion, and ultimately now it just fused together. But can we take it back to like how this originally started up?
Yeah, I mean, at the time of acquisition and stuff like that, Ian was at bat going, listen, we're all for, little changes throughout the company and stuff like that, but we can't change the name, January 1st, 2022. That's just too abruptive in the golf industry. And, obviously, like you guys know with the YouTube channel, if that changed over right away, there'd be some upset people. It's like you're your favorite cast member from 2.5 Men leaves, and then all of a sudden it's a different show and you're not happy with it. So we slowly did it. We slowly integrated certain things from the team at Club Champion on the media side and even throughout the corporation, which has been really good. Is it bittersweet for myself? Because I won't talk for Ian, but yeah, I mean, when you're, it'll be I guess for us, it's 7 years, this July. So that TXG was around, and it's a brand that a lot of people know, and people come up to you and, I watch the channel and stuff. For the brand to be sunset, it's definitely bittersweet, but the company now being all under one makes my life and some of the people who are, upper management lives a little easier, just with new studios. Like, for example, we're opening Vancouver, hopefully in the month of August. And, when you're dealing with provinces and stuff, and you're like, what name is this under? Is it TXG? Is it Club Champion? So the fact that it's all under one name, I think it's going to just make it a little bit more streamlined, especially throughout, our country. We're hoping to open as many stores as we can over the next few years. So, them being all under the same name and the media changing over under the same name, it's going to be a one-stop shop for people to go to. Our technology in Canada is still going to be Quad and Quintic. We're still going to use an all-fit driver adapter, which is different to their driver adapter for fittings. But philosophies and stuff like that, they're pretty tight. And we've worked hard to keep the same people here in Canada. So when you walk into TXG Toronto, you're going to see the same Paul, John, and Alex. And Mississauga, you're going to see Ian and I and Dean and the same people in the back end. Kudos to our customer service team that have to take, some of the brunt of, the people emailing in, you've changed the name. Does that mean I lose my fitter? Does that mean I lose my information? All that. None of that changes. It's strictly the sign on the front of the door, social channels. Obviously my Instagram changed from Mike TXG to Mike Club C. But it is the same company. We just have a hell of a lot more support now. So this was in the making for like 18 months. Obviously. Right. I knew about it. We all knew about it. We told our staff about, 3-4 months ago. Everyone was really positive. They're super excited for it. They were strong TXG fans, but they know that this can only help us and make us a better company and a stronger company. So I honestly don't think it's a bad thing. The first couple of days, listen, it changed over August 1st, and August 1st is like, okay, here we go. You know what I mean? We're gonna get a lot of hate. We're going to get, I had tons of texts and phone calls and DMs, DMs of people calling me a sellout. There's no reason for calling me a sellout. This has been happening now for months and months. Slowly, little things we were changing and testing the waters with, and no one noticed. So, we're Friday night and it's August 4th today, and no one's DMing me to tell myself to go screw myself or anything like that. So I think we've made it through the waters fine. And look, every company, big or small, they have plus and minuses, and there's little things that we always need to clean up. And we're working hard to do so. But as a brand and as the people who worked at TXG, it's the same company.
Well, like I kind of said when we were talking previously before we started recording here, is like, you guys didn't make this decision in 1 hour. Correct. You guys knew what you were doing. You knew what you're getting into, even though you've built up the TXG brand for so long and it's been so great. I mean, obviously there's more benefits to what you guys have decided to do, which is great. And I just feel like some people don't look at it that way necessarily. So I know it puts you guys in a kind of a shitty spot, but I just want to reiterate that, like, you guys know what you're doing, and I think
that's a good point. Like I said, 18 months so far, and this was probably, I think we probably started talking about sunsetting the brand in, I don't know, March, February or something like that, and the rebrand between email signatures and business cards and pamphlets and signage and phone messages and everything, like all the little things, like that stuff's been in the works for the last couple months. And August 1 was kind of our our final date, our date to announce it to the public. And like I said, I think we'll be fine. And yeah, you're right. This wasn't an overnight decision.
So, Mikey, it sounds as though this was like a confluence between the two brands. So, like, there's a lot of things where people might look at it and say, like, we've obviously heard, like, or if you look through any of the YouTube comments, like, sell out, like you mentioned. But there's a lot of things that TXG brings in a world of social media being the top fitting platform, I believe, on YouTube. I'm pretty sure anyway. So was it something where the two brands kind of, when the conversations happened, like maybe yourself and Ian thought, okay, there is like obviously a massive following down in the States. There's over 100 locations, I think you said, or 140 or something like that.
Yeah, I think there's 110 locations in the US. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're obviously maybe looking for like I've seen their social media platform. It's kind of not the same as where, say, TXG's platform was, or Club Champion Media, I think it's called now. So like, was that kind of a blend of the two? Was there a trade off there? Obviously, it was an acquisition, right?
Yeah. I mean, we all know, obviously, the channel, it does a great job. Ian does a great job. Unfortunately, my ugly mug's on the channel, and we have,
at least you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I guess some people in the comments think I don't, but that's all right. It's I guess, yeah, all the media turned over. Anything TXG went to Club Champion Media, and then the old Club Champion accounts, like their YouTube channel they had, which, we were talking about Jake Morrow earlier. He was doing that. That's gone, and their Insta's gone and stuff. So now it's all under Club Champion Media, because we now have, stores in Scotland, stores in, southern UK, stores in Australia, and obviously that's going to grow. So it's an international fitting brand, which is cool to say. I've got friends. I do have friends that run the Scotland location, and hey, if I need to go do a fitting in Scotland, then maybe I'll go do a fitting in Scotland. But as for the media, yeah, I mean, that's what's enticing. We are their media outlet for sure, and we're still doing reviews, and we're going to incorporate more fitting videos and show people the process. I find sometimes, back in the day, people would call us and go, do you guys do fittings? Like, do you guys sell golf clubs? And for someone who wasn't on the channel a lot, that kind of hurt, because I'm like, holy moly, these people don't think I sell equipment, and that's what keeps our lights on. So to have more fitting content on there, to get people through the doors, to get into the fitting studios, and ultimately buy some pretty cool custom clubs. That's our goal, and with the help of Club Champion, we now have two big marketing teams, our marketing team from Canada and our marketing team in the US, plus our production team. Honestly, it's only going to get better. Videos are going to be better quality, lightings. I mean, we were filming on Monday the other day, and that's probably why I have a suntan. There were so many lights on me, I felt like I was going to melt. But it's it honestly is only going to get better. We're still going to be two honest dummies on camera, telling you what works and why it works, or why it doesn't work for certain people. It's not like we're going to start saying, oh, go use the ABC shafts and it can give you 75 yards longer. We're not going to become infomercials.
Right.
We're still saying the same way, and there's going to be some new faces periodically through the channel, and cooler opportunities and stuff like that. So yeah, like I said, it doesn't change. It really only gets better.
I got a question for you. Might put you on the spot a little bit, but you gonna keep something a little TXG on your desk, maybe, just to kind of in memory of the old company?
There's I think I got a TXG sticker on my laptop, and I've got a lot of TXG merchandise: head covers, hoodies, t-shirts, polos, towels, gloves, shoes, hats.
So it's not going away yet, just yet.
Yeah, it'll all sit in I wore a TXG hoodie this morning. I was caddying for Ian at the Canadian Am qualifier, and it was chilly up at the pulpit, so I wore the thin hoodie. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have some clothing pieces with Club Champion brand on. It's not that we're forced to, but I want to. It's the brand that that I represent, and we need to do it right. So Yeah, there's some TXG towels kicking. I think my dog gets dried off in the winter with a TXG towel,
which is good though, because it's one of the cleaner logos there is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little X. It's that little circle X was clean. It always looked good on merch.
And it'll always be your and Ian's like kind of baby, you know, that company that you guys took all the pride in and ran so well. I mean, it was good.
Totally.
It's kind of like I don't know. You guys got to send it off like a frat house or something and get it get on like a little metal poker and brand each other and stuff like that and be forever TXG, a little piece of it, right? But it is one of the coolest logos. But how did Ian play?
He did not qualify.
Okay.
Well, it's his home track too, right?
No, he's actually a member at Brampton Golf Club.
Oh, okay.
But we have a fitting studio up at the Pulpit. We have our tour truck up there, and Patrick's our kind of in-home fitter there. So we're up at the Pulpit a bunch. I mean, I play it a few times a year, and they allow us to film out there. So, you know, the Pulpit relationship we have there, they're all beauties up there. They really do support us. So, yeah, it was fun to carry his bag, and it was a long day. We played in a 2-ball, and it was almost 6 hours.
Oh,
so it was long, but he birdied the last hole. I can't remember what he shot, but he didn't qualify. But the course is looking great. We were talking about it this morning, and I was like, how does TSN not pick up the last day of the Canadian Am? Like I would watch it. I don't watch golf. I watch, you know, the one tournament in April. And that's about it. And I think to watch the Canadian Am would be pretty cool, but I don't know. Maybe Club Champion Media picks that up.
How's Ian's like temper on the course? Is he as chill as he is like in videos and stuff? Like he seems like just like the most chilled out, relaxed guy, but I feel like on the course he'd be a little different.
Listen, Ian, his Scotsman sometimes comes out. Let me put it that way.
That's funny.
And there was no broken clubs today. He hasn't snapped a club in a long time. A long time being in the last 12 months. But yeah, he would have loved to scream a few words of anger. I will give Ian credit. He is the hardest working golfer on his swing that I've ever seen.
He's always putting in work.
He can hit golf balls for 7 hours, and I will tell you this, and this is the honest truth. 4 times a week, I take at least 20 videos of his swing for him.
Really?
And he'll be like, what do you see? What do you see? And, you know, obviously enough over the years, I know what he's looking for. But he works religiously with Tyler McGee, who's down in Florida. He picks obviously Scott Kelks' brain. He picks, you know, my teaching pro at Toronto, Andrew Lovell's brain quite a bit. So he's got quite a stable of coaches, but and then Ian helps me with my swing, but my swing is useless anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, Ian loves to practice, work on his game, and he was stuck in a certain position today and it didn't work. But you know, he got through it, and you know, after 6 hours when you want to pull your eyes out, he didn't qualify, but you know, kudos to him. I don't want to sound like a father, but you know, proud of him that he went through it. I mean, it's the most competitive golf he's played in the last probably 12 years since he's been in Canada.
Mac here for Manscaped, the best in men's grooming. We are back with a limited time offer on the Performance Package 4.0. If you're not watching this on YouTube or on Instagram or somewhere that we have this video posted, you should go look, because I'm going to show you everything in each one of these lineups. The Performance Package 4.0 comes with the Crop Reviver, the Crop Preserver, the Weed Whacker for the nose. This thing would take down Eugene Levy, and the Lawnmower 4.0. We scroll down to the Platinum Package. It includes the Crop Preserver that we already talked about. You can't see it in the screen. Over there is a Crop Reviver, the body wash, shampoo, and conditioner, plus the deodorant, said Weed Whacker, said Lawnmower 4.0, and on top of that, you're going to get free boxers, my favorite pair of all 3 pairs that I own, my favorite toiletry bag of 2 toiletry bags that I own, free shipping, plus 20% off using the promo code OTSGolf over at manscaped.com or manscaped.ca. The best in men's grooming. Let's get to the back nine. We'll see you there. I know I was caddying last week too for Ziggy. I don't know if you would. Maybe now that you guys are going to be out in Vancouver, which we can talk about a little bit, but he's a BC guy. He's out at Richmond, so whenever he comes through town, I'll carry the bag for him. But man, those guys too. Like I don't know how it was with Ian, but they don't have lockers there, right? So they got all their training gear, their clothes in there. He's got his bag. It's like food, water. That thing was probably 60 pounds. I was carrying it around last week, and unfortunately, we didn't make the weekend either. And I was going to go out for a buddy of his on the weekend who actually went really low on both days on the weekend and climbed the leaderboard. His name is Ryan Davis. I asked Blaker. I'm going to give him a call out here because I asked Blaker if he was interested in caddying for him, and he just left me on red. So
yeah,
could have had a good weekend there with Ryan Davis. He's an absolute stick. He's like 10 under right now in Windsor through 2 days. So
speaking of Blaker, defending club champ, we'll see how he does this weekend.
Is it this weekend?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll. I don't know. He might not have the week that he did last year, hitting a hole in one on par
14 last year.
14,
but he also shot a 68 the other day with 9 birdies. So I mean, if he doesn't make those birdies, he's shooting 82.
So
you never know what you're gonna get with him. He doesn't practice.
Yeah. If you're that good, you don't need to practice. I shouldn't say that. Blake his head will just be growing here. But so Vancouver opening in a couple weeks, or actually, sorry, I meant to say we saw KV. Like Keaton was there today. Brycer at Pulpit. I think Mac was playing there too.
He's always there. He's always at the Pulpit.
Yeah, with Cougar. So Cougar's another guy we got to get on because we've had like every guy on from EMU at some point. So another EMU guy that we got to get on in the future. But so moving it back to Club Champion, I guess we call it Club Champion North or something like that. But
Club Champion Canada, baby.
Club Champion Canada. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I definitely like that. Vancouver's the next option. That's where you guys are looking at. You're hoping to get it open in August.
Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, hopefully within, 10 days I'm out there, with the first couple fits and, kind of training new staff, and Ian's going to come out as well. And I know demos and stuff like that have already kind of went that way. Quads are on their way out there, computers and stuff like that. So, it'll be in a really cool kind of private facility. But yeah, as soon as we're ready to go officially and make sure everything's 100%, we'll obviously release, addresses and stuff like that. But excited to get to Vancouver. I mean, the place in Canada where you can play golf 11 months a year if you really want to. And the West Coast is great. I've got family in White Rock, and it's kind of like a Northern California vibe, which is pretty cool. So the golf scene in Vancouver is bonkers. And I really think with the two guys that we're going to have on the team, plus, myself and Ian will probably be out there on and off a little bit. I think thing's going to be a home run.
Why do you guys go quads over TrackMan? Any reason?
Indoor for quad, just being able to, see strike, that camera indoors next to the golf club and golf ball versus Doppler indoors. I know they have those RCT balls and it registers the spin a little bit better, but Doppler's great if you want to see ball flight. Like we were talking about doing a test with golf balls and it's a whole subject, and we're probably going to want to use TrackMan for that test, which is fine. Both are great units, but for indoors for us, quad is ideal.
And then Vancouver will be the second in Canada, correct? Club Champion?
Vancouver will be...
Vancouver.
Yeah, there's 2 here locally.
I mean, obviously we have 2 in Toronto, 1 in Calgary. Vancouver will be, I guess will be the 4th, and we do have the Pulpit location outside, so really the 5th. But technically, this will be the first store under the 100% signage of Club Champion.
So I know I'm going to bring it back to another Instagram question, Mike. You popped that up. We had a couple here. So I know you kind of mentioned it before, but maybe if you can give us a couple ideas, the difference between Club Champion and TXG. So obviously these are, like we said, it's a confluence between 2 brands now. So they're one, but like you mentioned, like the adapter and stuff like that. Can you kind of speak to what some of the changes may be? I think I would say from my point of view, people are maybe thinking it's kind of more of like a bigger box brand. TXG was more of like a specialty brand. and then kind of, I guess you guys are probably trying to find something in the middle there, but yeah, I'll leave that one with you.
Yeah, I mean, our goal, or Ian and I's goal way back was, way back 7 years ago, I guess. How can we get TXG outside the GTA? How can we get it to people in Vancouver? How can we get it to people in Calgary? How can we get it to people in Ottawa or, Montreal or whatever? Because we get guys and girls and juniors that fly in from everywhere. We get a lot of US customers. We get a lot of UK customers. I would say 90% of the customers Ian is seeing, they're not even from Canada at all. And, I would say probably 50% of my clients are not even from Canada. So, with the help of Club Champion to be able to expand across the country, that's the biggest thing. They use TrackMan, they use Sam Putt Lab, we use Quintic for putting, we use Quad for fittings. We use their iron, fairway wood, and hybrid adapter in all our fitting studios. It makes everything obviously interchangeable. I think we have up to, there's no real calculation to it, but it's got to be close to 100,000 plus combinations that you could build in the studio, which is pretty cool. They use their adapter we use for irons on their drivers. But we're currently have been using All Fit, which is a company out of Asia, and it's gives us the ability to dial in that driver really nicely. We used to use a company called Club Connects, but when we went to All Fit, it's just a little sleeker. It looks like a regular driver adapter. You can use the OEM screw in most of the heads, which is nice too. So USGA approved, interchangeable, which is really, really clean. But
So
both
hold on,
companies
to cut you off. Does that allow
Yeah.
you to put one shaft into all the manufactured heads?
correct.
Oh,
correct.
really? That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Okay.
Both companies use a premium golf ball in all the studios. So yeah, I mean, what is the difference? Our philosophies are, fit people and get them to play better golf. That is the main goal. None of us are here to screw anyone over or take their money and say, oh, you need a 3, 5, and 7 wood when you only need a 5 wood. That's not who we are. We're not the sleazy, used car salesman. So we're here to make people better. There's little differences in our build philosophies. They're big on SST puring, which we are too. We offer it, but we still frequency match our clubs. So we want the set of irons or a club to be the same flex or in about that flex. They don't frequency because they do SST pure. But little things like that potentially will change. But one thing that I'm passionate about is, our build quality will not be reduced for volume or to increase production. If someone's spending $4, $5, $10, $15,000 on a set of golf clubs, I want those to be the best $15,000 set of golf clubs you possibly could get. So, yeah, like I said, there's not really much of a difference between the two companies.
All right, we're in conversation. Let me try this one out. Mike Martysiewicz, Director of Club Fitting and Building, Club Champion Canada.
There you go.
We're the first to say it. That's cool.
You've seen, yeah, because I haven't even set up my new email yet. I'm still rocking
Sweet.
my TXG.ca. So
You got business cards yet?
they're coming.
Oh,
The
not
business
official
cards,
yet.
I don't think
Can't break it
I've ever handed out a business card in my life.
So, Mikey,
You don't need to with social media anymore.
Yeah, it's true. What was the biggest change for Mikey specifically? With, I don't want to call it being absorbed, but like
a merge.
Yeah, a merger of the two brands. Is it a merger? Is it a merger? Is it a?
No, I mean it's a full out. They bought us, and they own the TXG brand and stuff like that. We are under one big umbrella.
Okay, all right. So
with the name change, yeah.
What is the biggest difference for Mike specifically in your role with the acquisition of TXG from Club Champion?
I mean, my role, honestly, it's exactly the same.
Right.
We have, I will say there is more structure now than there ever was. When it was just TXG and there was a couple of us, we needed to make call it an executive decision. It would be like, text someone and be like, hey, are we doing this? Yep. Okay, let's do it. And then, there could be a communication error. Now it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays are kind of like call after call after call, but that structure's helped me so much. Like I'm taking advantage of learning, being accounted to getting things done, which is nice. And we have the ability to, like, we've got a company that has 110 stores. They've seen it all. So anything that I'm going to start to see, or Ian's going to start to see over the next few years with opening a new studio or bringing more people on staff at a higher volume, we have people that can answer some questions for us. So my job stays the same. Ian's job stays the same. You can still book a fitting with me. You can still book a fitting with Ian. But yeah, day to day, it's exactly the same. The only thing I should probably kind of ask for in a contract is more days to golf, but I don't think that's going to be accepted.
Yeah.
More vacation days, something. You got to work something in, Mikey. Come on.
Pretty sure Blaker's supposed to go see Ian at some point this year.
Oh, yeah?
I think. I could be wrong on that, but.
Nice.
Yeah, Blaker's got a lot of hours to work to make that work, man. He's got to find something. But yeah, the reason why I ask you that question is because I'm kind of curious. Like, you and I chat quite a bit, and I'm kind of curious how that might impact your day. Is the last time we kind of Brycer asked you the question of what's your day to day like, and it was a lot of you start in the shop, you kind of do your kind of your rundown, you go over like the idea of what's going on for the day with your staff and whatnot, and so I assume that something like this will kind of be taking your space away from the fitters a little bit. I know in my role that when I like in my job away from the pod, I do have a job. I've been asked that question before, so the pod does not pay any bills, unfortunately. But it's really good to be able to kind of evolve. You're a young guy and be able to kind of evolve and have a lot of trust in your staff and kind of build them up through kind of growth, right? So it's got to be something where I'm sure. It sounded like TXG was a bit of a family, so it was probably a pretty big choice before that everybody was involved in, which sounds kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Actually, to be honest with you, I feel like I'm more in touch with my fitters and builders than I've ever had to be, because we do have a VP of ops, which is awesome. He does a great job, and he really is the guy that oversees customer service, orders, shipping and receiving, quality control. That's his team. So I can be more one-on-one with him to come up with ideas to make things better, but then I can be more one-on-one and track what my fitters are doing, what's my builders output, and make people a little bit more efficient, which is cool. So yeah, I would say my job is definitely more hands-on, more analytical with the fitters, but to be honest with you, it's only made the fitters better and the quality of fittings better. So yeah, it's been pretty fun so far.
Is the cost still the same for people who are kind of used to the TXG model? Has the cost adjusted at all with the acquisition?
I mean, before the, like, are you talking fit fee and stuff like that?
Yeah, like fit fee, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good question. Before the whole kind of deal went through, I was always a big kind of beggar of increasing the fit fee. It was $100 for, I don't know, it was like $113 after tax for like a driver fit. And I was the one saying like, hey, it should be like $175 or make it $200. Because anyone can get fit anywhere. There's so many different levels of fitting.
For sure.
Right. A big box it does a good job. Listen, I worked big box retail years ago, and yeah, I was a club slut, so I tried to, really fit people into thinking, they trusting me and knowing what I'm doing. But I've also heard nightmares. And you've heard that at, big OEMs, and you've heard that in places like a Club Champion as well. There's no hiding that there's sometimes a missed fit. But the fit fee's gone up, and I'm a big kind of supporter of that. I think the quality and the one-on-one you're getting with, especially the guys in Canada, the fitters that I've hired, and I would say this to them direct, I wouldn't hire them if they weren't good. Yeah. So, kind of I go to bat for them, and it puts a lot of pressure on me a little bit, so because they better perform. But the team we've got right now is, A1 steak sauce, and they're big supporters of the company, and they're golf junkies just like the three of us. So yeah, fit fees have gone up, and I mean, golf equipment's gone up in general, but that's kind of out of my control. That's the big box OEMs. I mean, there's a Ping 3-wood now for $800, and that's just for the head.
Even golf has gone up. Like
golf's gone up too. I mean, even at my club, guest fee went up, a few bucks, and it's just like, okay, I'm bringing a lot less guests to the golf course because I'm not covering that. But listen, it's inevitable. We all know our liberal gas is really expensive, so everything's got to go up in price.
What is a full bag fitting?
A full bag fit is $425.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's 4 hours one-on-one with the fitter. That's everything: driver, wedges, putter, you name it. You get your prescription after that. You get all your data, whether you want to buy clubs or not. You still get that information. And then a full bag fit with me, $700, and a full bag fit with Ian is a couple $1,000. But that money goes towards clubs as well.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's kind of what I'm thinking in the background here. Golf seems to be one of those markets where product margins does not matter. Like
it's kind of, sometimes it's like the Wild West. Like we'll see certain products that come in and it looks really cool, looks really good. Some of these, I would not DTC brands, but like the J-spec stuff, like stuff out of Japan.
Yeah.
They come into the market and they're like, okay, this one iron head is going to cost $475. And I'm thinking in my head, okay, that's $475, but Titleist T150 is $285. Now, $285 is a lot of money, but $475 for one iron head. That used to be the price of a driver 8 years ago.
Oh, and they cost $2.75 to make it.
Yeah. So, and that's no knock to the J-spec brands or anything. They do make some great stuff. And it's the made in Japan and the processes and the smaller amounts they make, makes better quality, ideally. So you can kind of sell that, but it's a harder sale because you have to tell people the story. Guys come in, they know what Titleist does, they know what Cobra does, they know what Strixon does, but you start selling a J-spec brand and you really got to go into the weeds. Like, this is, the guy that makes the irons, this is his wife, and this is his kids, and here's his, family photo album on the website. And,
been doing it for years. They're 4 times. Like,
yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's kind of the stuff that's gone up in price. That's out of our control, but I mean, for the service and quality that you're getting out of Club Champion or Club Champion Canada, I mean, I think it's well worth it. I would never want my dentist to make them the same price he was charging 25 years ago, because that means his tools are pretty crappy. So price has gone up, but in my opinion, for the better.
Well, also too, like golf clubs aren't, I mean, some people they are, but golf clubs will last you 5-6 years if you want them to. It's not something you have to get. I know there are a lot of people that do get new clubs every year, but I mean, I've been using my irons for 7 years and they still work just fine. You can invest once and they'll last you a lot.
I had the same set of irons for 4 years. I used the same putter for 3 years. I mean, it's one of those, and I'm in the industry. I mean, if you guys saw my basement right now, you'd fall over. There's probably more shafts down there than we have on our shaft walls in any of our studios. So, it's obviously perk of the job. But what I tell the customers, I had a guy in the other day, and he's like, "Oh, I spent $8,000 this year on like 5 different sets of irons." Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Well, did you get fit for them?" He's like, "No, I just bought them off the rack." I'm like, "Okay, well, that's your fault." And when we were done the fitting, I was like, "Here's what works, and if you buy it, I'm not going to see you for 3 years."
Yeah.
He kind of looked at me and he's like, "Oh, the price," and I'm like, "Okay, this might mean you spend $15,000 this year, but hear me out.
Yeah,
this is you done. This is you done for 5 years, 3 years, 5 years, however long you want it to be." And it took him a while to kind of understand it, but then after he was like, "Nah, you're right." He goes, "I don't want to spend a couple $1,000s every month." So I was like, go spend it on your wife and kids instead.
Something's off here. Yeah. Just liquidate some of these assets and you'll be there. You'll be halfway 100%. There at least. Right. So
I feel like irons are like cars too. Like when you go to resell them, as soon as they've been hit, like that price will drop a lot.
Price will drop. I always found I was told like through COVID, the secondhand market was nuts because obviously clubs were hard to get. You couldn't get stuff. So people were paying an arm and a leg for, a 5-year-old Callaway driver. But I think that's kind of quieted down now. One thing I will say, and this is free advertising for Club Champion Canada, but product is coming in so much faster. So when you get fit, it's not, it's going to take, Bryce, going to take you 6 to 8 weeks to get your new driver. It's like, no, you're going to get your driver in 3 weeks and you're going to play it well before the season ends. That to me is like the best news I've had in the last 5 years. Because during COVID, we had people sign waivers to agree to a 16-week turnaround time. And, sitting in the car at night crying because, you read emails of people wanting to come in and shoot you with a shotgun. So the COVID slowdown is gone. Some companies are slower still a little bit, but it's so much better now.
Good. That's good to hear. That's kind of like everything now is starting to.
Construction was brutal.
Kind of come back around.
Just waiting for a bathroom vanity when we were doing bathrooms and stuff was 10 weeks, 12 weeks during COVID. Insane.
So, Mikey, I know you mentioned that there's going to be a lot more fittings and stuff on the channel. TXG always kind of had a lot of different things, like the driver bracket. There'd be some course vlogs and stuff like that. I noticed that there was a little bit of work with Lexi, I think, at one point. Paige Sporanic, I think, and Ian had a chat. If we got you for a few more minutes, you good for a few more minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, so when when you guys are kind of talking about that, was there anything that I think the YouTube channel is one of the, like I said earlier, it's the biggest channel in this space for this specific, I guess, model or whatever it may be. Was that something where it gave yourself, Ian, a little bit of room to kind of go ahead and just ask for things like access to people like that? Well, is there anything that we are going to see coming up in the next little bit that might have been a little bit different from the channel of the past years?
I think the way the channel has gone over the last few months now, recently, is we have had more brands and people contact us and want to do bigger things than just one video. They want to do a series, or they want to, they want you to come and test the stuff or see their facility or go fit someone at another location, whether it's, go fit, a baseball player at Club Champion Manhattan, their flagship store in New York, which is ultimately probably one of the nicest studios I've ever seen. It's cool that it's just in the city. Obviously more on-course stuff, maybe a little, Ian's goal is he'd love to see some vlog style stuff, not necessarily him holding the camera, but some B-roll of us going on an airplane and us getting into the cabin, because people want to see that stuff. I think it's extremely weird, but there will be some more of that, maybe dabble in the TikTok space, maybe dabble in the Instagram reel space. If Ian and I could get our thumbs out of where the sun doesn't shine and actually record more than one episode on the podcast once every 7 months, that would be good. Because people do watch it, people do listen to it. Obviously we have the analytics to see what people like and what people don't like. And we can't please everyone, but there's a lot of stuff we do right, and there's some stuff we do that's a swing and a miss, and the views aren't as hot or whatever, but there's some cool stuff coming up for the winter, more stuff on ball. I think golf ball is such a an untouched area in golf still. I mean, obviously Ping has their Ballnamic. All the ball companies try to do some online kind of questionnaires to fit you to the right ball, but we want to do some, whether it's robot testing or Doppler testing or anything we can get a little bit more scientific with to give people the, our honest opinion, I think will be pretty cool.
Yeah. Did you, have you got your hands on the new Haywood driver and
yeah, we tested the Haywood driver in 3-wood.
It was just not.
I think that video's on the channel already.
It is. I have it in my save folder. I might actually watch that one tonight. It is up there. So anybody. So again, we're supposed to do this stuff throughout the pod. We're gonna, in the show notes below, we're gonna link the TXG or the Club Champion Canada, YouTube channel. Club Champion Media, I think it is now, right? So we're gonna link that below. So go ahead and we can watch that Haywood video that you're gonna talk about.
Love it.
Yeah. So, did you get were you involved in that one at all, Mikey? Did you have any part in that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm awful. Once I'm in them and we're done recording, I really don't remember a bit.
Just
Someone will say like, "Oh, I
Men in
heard you
Black
say."
pen and just
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I heard you say this December 8th, 2022, and I'm
You're
like,
just like, huh?
dude, I have no clue what you're talking about. I skim through the videos and I read through the comments and try to support the comments, the good, the bad, and the ugly in there. The armchair warriors that are out there. Yes, I think I was in both of the Haywood ones. The driver's good. It sounds good. It looks great. It performs. I think we tested it against Ian's stealth driver that he was using at one point. And yeah, I mean, Josh is doing some cool stuff. And the cool thing is, before that came out, so I guess maybe this time last year, Josh asked me to he tried to buy a few drivers off me that I just didn't have in stock, but he was going to do robot testing. And I'm not saying not all DTC companies do robot testing, but kudos to Josh for not bringing out a piece of garbage, because there is some stuff out there. The three of us could have, the three amigos driver literally built tonight and shipped over here in 20 days, and it'd be absolute piece of crap. I've seen them, I've hit them. So Josh has put some proper work towards this stuff, and for the price you get them at, I mean, even if people just want to try them for $400, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it was one of the things that we were chatting with. We had a conversation with Joshua Haywood. He's the founder of Haywood Golf a few months ago, and it was kind of just as he was rolling those out. He had just posted a photo. He hadn't done any of the video or anything like that yet. It came out, I think, the next day after our chat of the robot testing, which was pretty cool because he had it against the Stealth. He had it against the 425, G425, and then I think he might have had it against
I think it was a Callaway.
A Callaway, like the Rogue or something like that. Yeah. So he definitely put in the work to make it good. He kind of explained that it's not going to come out. They're not going to release a new driver every year. That's not typically a direct-to-consumer. When Mikey says DTC, direct-to-consumer, meaning that you can go kind of directly to Haywood to purchase that. So that's not his idea, is to build something every year or have something new come out. Not a lot of direct-to-consumers obviously can do that, but it's cool. He said it was a couple years in the making, and it sounded like it turned out pretty good.
He also explained how he went down to Arizona and got on that robot. And did he say it was only like one of two robots in the world? Or something?
There's a gentleman down in San Diego, Gene Parente, who has a robot. I don't know where the other one in the US is. I know a couple of the OEMs have one. Like, I've seen the Titleist robot, I've seen the Ping robot, but Gene Parente, I'm pretty sure, is the only kind of brand agnostic. Like, if anyone wants to go
like
test
quote
product.
unquote public.
Yeah. And it's literally looks like it's in the field of a factory.
Yeah, that's cool.
And he's just blasting brand new TP5Xs out in a field, and yeah, that's how he does the testing. But
where's that field?
Yeah, exactly. in the middle of a factory section in San Diego. I don't know how we want to go pick those golf balls, but yeah, I will give kudos.
With drones, or can we send a
drone? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know how. I mean, kudos to Josh for for not bringing something out every year, and ballsy to be bringing out a driver in the golf industry with how good drivers are these days.
Yeah,
every OEM is making a good driver, right down to Strixon, and that's not me putting them in the bottom of this list, but I mean, they make a great driver, and they haven't had a driver compete even in our bracket for the last 3 years. So scary market, but kudos to him for bringing one out.
Bryce, you got anything more with gear?
No, I don't think so. There's still a lot of stuff coming out here. I saw you got your hands on the new Callaway stuff. Is that the first? Is that it for right now? That's all you've got your hands on so far?
Yeah, so we've tested Apex Pro, Apex CB, Apex MB, Apex UW, Apex UT, which is a driving iron.
So nice. It looks so nice.
But no other OEMs yet have came out with anything?
Yeah, there's a new TaylorMade iron coming out that we are testing this week. There's new TaylorMade wedges coming out. That's all in the next couple weeks. And then
what about that Blueprint S that we've been seeing pictures?
Yeah, you know what? That's we had meetings with Ping a couple weeks ago, and we didn't really hear anything. I was like, anything new? And they're like, no, not really. And you know, that kind of snuck under the radar. So I think that comes out spring of 24.
Okay.
I think. So yeah, that looks clean as well. And then there's a bunch of new shafts that are hitting the market.
Nice.
As you know, PJ always find at this time of year, PJ Tour playoffs hit, and then they have wraparound season. They go to Napa and stuff like that. So the guys who don't need to play the first few events of the wraparound season, they're going to start tinkering with shafts. So Graphite Design, Project X, Mitsubishi's probably got something fresh coming out as well. VA's got something fresh.
Will anything beat out Ventus?
Tell you, you could have a store and just call it Ventus.
Yeah,
it's insane, man. Everyone.
I know. It's Ventus is great. I'm a big Mitsubishi guy. I love their product. You know, they sell a lot of graphite to a lot of other shaft manufacturers. So they must be doing something right. I'm still rocking an Autoflex in my driver.
Oh, yeah?
You know, with that Korean hidden technology. So no changes there. But like I said, as I call it, like October 1 becomes tinker season. Yeah, it's crazy to think, you know, I'm not trying to rush summer away, but it's getting close to fall release, and then it'll be
fun time.
December when we're out west testing all the new gear that's going to come out in 24. So crazy times already.
How's the Bettinardi? You've had it in the bag for a little bit now.
So good.
So good. I love that.
So good.
I like that.
Putting is I would say like 8 out of 10 for me. It's what saves my back out there most of the times. And that custom Betty was worth the pain that it took to get it. I'm hoping to get down to Bettinardi before this you know, the year ends and go see their new studio they're building. I think they do such a cool job. I mean, like I said, Scotty does a great job too, but yeah, the Betty's pretty sick.
Yeah, shout out to Tyler Lowy too, the little brand. I don't know if you know about Tyler Lowy, but he's one of only 2 people that hand mills putters.
Really?
That we know of, like in the
planet, CNC machine. Yeah. Me and Mac, when we had him on, we're like, wait, what? Like,
when he said that, we were both like, what the, like, hand milled? Yeah, so I guess it's just him, and there's one other person apparently who does it. So got one of those coming in the next well, he's running a little behind, so I'm into a bet.
Did you pick a head shape and everything?
Got everything already all set. We had a phone call.
Are you doing a blade, or are you
doing a blade? Yeah, I'm gonna try a blade. Yeah, so
I'm gonna give him a little follow. I mean,
yeah,
hey, if you're you know, as a club builder, I mean, I could not hang a picture on a wall, but I love building clubs and grinding wedges and stuff like that. So anyone who's, you know, using a lathe or CNC or 5-axis or whatever they're using, I just think it's pretty cool. Kudos to him for that.
Yeah,
he's on the lathe all day.
It is art, man. It is really cool. Got the new, what's the new one, Mike? It's the BGT black, all black. Yeah.
BGT stability, like the all blackout one. Yeah, that's a limited one. That one's cool.
Yeah, that's going on there.
Is that what you're getting in it?
A black leather wrap grip, and he's putting a carbon. I don't know if I should say this yet, because I think it's the first one he's trying or first one he's doing. It's like a carbon neck too, so it's just gonna be.
Anytime you get the, you know, someone goes from, whether it's an OEM or a brand, you know, like that, and they're like, oh, like, if you could dream a putter, what would you do? And the first time I ever got the opportunity, I was like, oh, just, you know, stainless steel putter would be fine.
Yeah.
And then someone else gets one. It's like Beryllium insert, carbon net.
Oh, I wish I did that.
Japanese stainless steel head. And I'm like, I should have asked. I should have asked for more. I should have been greedy. But
well, for me, I'm just like, oh man, I don't care. Do whatever you want. I don't care. Yeah. Like, just I'm happy to support. And he's like, oh, okay, I want to try this. So do you mind if I try this? And I'm like, fuck yeah, you can try that. Of course, I'll be that guinea pig for sure. I will be. But
so I think I've got a file on my Mac that just says Mike's Betty, and there's probably like 40 pieces of scanned documents, whether it was like we were drawing stuff and they have like an outline, and then they come back and they with like red X's, no, we can't do this, we can't do that, or they just circle a bunch of stuff, says, give us finer detail and we'll make it. So that's part of the process. It took a few months, but to get something exactly to what you want, that's next level custom.
That's sweet, man. It's I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be pretty cool. To wrap up the gear chat, we reaching like a peak. I know we kind of talked about this before, Mikey. We reaching a peak on some of this stuff on obviously the golf ball, the drivers.
It's gotta be soon, no?
Yeah.
Adam Scott hit 340 today. Adam Scott.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, obviously it was the Scottish Open. It was downwind. And,
425 is Rory. Yeah.
Yeah. Rory's in at 425.
Yeah.
I think the ball rollback with the PGA and USG, I don't know if I heard correctly that they're kind of walking away from that idea. I think I heard that. Which I agree with. I think that's the stupidest thing you could ever do. I mean, I sit as an ambassador for First Tee of Ontario, and the last thing I want to do is get kids involved in the game and they hit it long, and then also in the next 10 years when they're playing golf, they have to lose 20%. I mean, that's not how you grow the game. Hit it long, learn to get it into the hole, and that's all that matters. So, I've been in company with some OEMs over the last few years, and we'd be at dinner and there'd be a few glasses of wine flowing, and all of a sudden a pen comes out and they start drawing shit on napkins, and you're like, okay, the golf industry is not ready for that. And then they put the napkin in the glass of water, so that idea is, never seen again. But there's been stuff that we've heard that you just go, holy shit, like these, they're engineers, obviously. They're smarter than I'll ever be, but it's it's cool. I mean, there's been times we've been down there and they're pulled into meetings, and the main people come out of it and they're like, fuck, they're like, we trust you guys and we really like you guys, but man, we wish you could have been a fly on that wall. And we're like, oh, what were you talking about? They're like, we were talking about drivers, 7 years from now. And you're just like,
whoa,
holy shit.
Wish you could just have that information, So
it's wild.
Yeah. So the answer is just straight up no. It's just a flat out no. Like no.
It's a flat out.
Okay.
No for sure.
I guess with how smart these engineers are working for the big OEMs, they'll always find a way to push the limits, right?
Actually, and I won't keep blabbering here, but there's those 5 videos on YouTube from Titleist, and it's called like the TS series, or the I don't know, the journey to TS. And in that first video, Spieth was the #1 player in the world, I think, and Spieth was also their #1 player. And he said in the video, guys were hitting it like 40 by me. He goes, and I'm using a Titleist driver. He goes, he was like 3 weeks away from putting a TaylorMade driver in the bag. Or not a TaylorMade, but a different OEM. So Titleist engineers are like, okay, we need to buckle up here and build a better driver, because 917, any Titleist person will tell you, god awful driver. 915 really wasn't any better. And they took the tour truck to Jordan Spieth's house in Texas, and they had this one prototype, and they put it on, and the video kind of slows down and it kind of gets that heartbeat going like it used to do in the Tiger Woods game. And Spieth hits it and he looks at ball speed and he's like, holy shit. He goes,
here we go.
We're on. And the engineer in their video, who I've met multiple times, she's a genius. And in that video, you can see her smirk, and she's like, okay, we have something. We've entered the game of competing against, the best drivers. So if you haven't watched, they're like 5 minutes each. If you haven't watched it, it's a really, really good video.
Is Max Homa in one of those?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen those. Yeah.
That 910H though, that was pretty. I kept
910 was good.
I kept that thing in the bag way too long, man. Way too long.
That thing was unreal. I got one of those for my 16th birthday. It was great.
Oh man, like my buddy still got it in his bag. I gave it to one of my buddies a few years ago, a while back. He still got it in his bag. So every time we play, I pull that thing out. I gotta hit a rope with that or something.
I still got the 915 3-wood.
You can move the ball with those things, man. But all right, let's wrap it up, Mikey. Where's the pod going here? What's next? You guys got anything coming or what? Is the
it's funny.
Is the channel up for sale? Like, can Bryce and I? Yeah.
We were using a podcast studio in the city.
Okay.
And both Ian and I live nowhere near the city. Mm-hmm. So in order for us to like run across the city, record an episode and get back, it was just a waste of a day. So we have a little office in our Mississauga studio. We're putting some sound paneling up, and that will give us the ability to Thursday evening fire up the mics and record with, I don't know, whoever, an engineer from Titleist or hopefully a player, and maybe some ex-players or some, we talk to Arcos a lot. So my goal is I'd love to be able to record 2 or 3 episodes in one sitting, and then we don't have to record something for 2 or 3 weeks just with our schedules. But yeah, we definitely need to get it back in the studio. I mean, listen, I've looked at our numbers and people watch it, people listen to it. People I've talked to, they're like, oh yeah, I love the pod, it's back. So I think the pod too, Ian and I become more ourselves, and we kind of we'll rip each other and crack jokes as well, which to me, that's how it should be. I don't think it should be prim and proper all the time. So yeah, I enjoy doing the pod. So fingers crossed we have a bit of a run with it.
Well, Bryce, our run at the top of the Canadian golf podcast is
slowly plummeting.
It's slowly coming to an end, man. But
no, I don't think we were ever even. I don't even think Barath and I were ever even close to top 10.
In just in Canada, yeah. Like when you look at the top Canadian ones, like but there's obviously still American pods ahead of that are being listened to in Canada, like Foreplay and No Laying Up and those kind of pods and stuff. All great pods, all good ones to check out. But ours has been really good lately. Like there's been a lot of people checking it out. So of course, Bryce and I appreciate the support. We've kind of found our niche. It's been really cool, man. We are on, this will be 147, I think, now in a row. So every Friday. So we're going strong, Mikey. We're going strong.
That's impressive. No, I'll give you guys credit. I mean, as a, I'm going to still consider myself a young guy in the industry. You do interview a lot of the younger guys, and maybe the guys who sometimes think they don't have the opportunity to get on a podcast or get in a video or whatever that may be. So kudos to you guys for letting the young pups, have a say, whether it's right or wrong. It still gets their name out there. So you guys are doing a good job.
It's cool because we get to meet a lot of players that are in very, very different points in their career, right? So I feel like you start interviewing pros, they're all kind of very comfortable, right? We go out there, like we get to interview some pros, I get to talk with some guys in person, and like some of them might have a ton of sponsorships, believe it or not. Some other guys might have absolutely none. So it's just it's kind of cool.
It's also cool because like they want to come on too. Like it's not like we're reaching out and saying like begging people to come on, and like they don't really want to give us the time of day, but they're gonna come on anyways. Like it's nice that these guys, like even though they're pros, they're still giving us the time of day and they want to come on, which is cool.
Yeah, it's nice to have that chat, and then when you get to meet people too, it's really cool. We've got to meet a bunch of people in the industry as well. So, and then you guys have like the gear specific one too. So anybody still following us at this point, it sounds like it'll be back. So if you're more interested in like very gear specific stuff, obviously go follow the TXG channel, which will become the club champion.
Actually, believe it or not, we get to name the podcast, so we don't know what
there you go.
We don't know if it's going to be 2 pricks in a microphone or 2 dummies in a microphone, but it's going to be
free range.
Free range.
There's got to be some limits.
To call it whatever we want. So I asked Chat GPT, give me the top 10 golf podcast names, and they were not usable whatsoever. That's the first time AI let me down.
Get some commission on one.
Yeah. That's you got to post one and like just post it up or something. Say it in one of the YouTube videos. But I'm thinking already. I know you're a wine guy, but you got to get Canadian Club as like a lead sponsor on that or something like that.
Well, that's the other thing. Ian and I are big drinkers of BioSteel. We drink it every day. My good friend, but a good client, Mike Camilleri, is one of the guys that helped start the company, and we sent him a video in the podcast studio the other day pretending we were sponsored by BioSteel. So it's you're right, little Canadian club. I don't mind that. That's a good idea.
That's not a bad one. We do have a little connect with BioSteel, so you can use Screws 30 for 30% off any BioSteel.
Love it.
So
nice segue.
That was not bad. That was not bad. So I might have to find the time and go back and clip that. But BioSteel's good, man. It's you know, especially when it's so hot right now. Like if you're out on the course, it's good to have, obviously. And if it's something that you guys are drinking, like, and you can naturally like find a connection with them, why not, right? Why not?
Yeah, so. Yeah. I'm my fingers crossed we can have. I'd love to up our offerings in the studios, whether that's, you know, the pre-Tetra packs of BioSteel, granola bars, you know, whether they're vegan and gluten-free friendly, or a piece of fruit or an espresso or something.
Yeah.
In the studios to offer other people offer anyone other than just plain old water. But BioSteel, for people who are listening and have never had it, do yourself a favor, replace your pop intake with BioSteel and you will look and feel a million times better.
You'll
even
never
your Gatorades and Powerades and stuff. BioSteel tastes just as good and it's way better for you.
The only thing I'll say, guilty pleasure, lemon lime Gatorade.
Really?
On fish ice in a styrofoam cup in South Carolina is the best drink going forward.
I have like a deep addiction to Mio electrolytes and carbonated water, sparkling water.
I'm a carbonated water. I drink so much bubbly, it's like awful.
Yeah. Is there something about styrofoam cups on golf courses, or is that just me?
I don't know. I don't know, but my uncle's home course down in the Carolinas, that was like you spend weeks and weeks and weeks down there in the summer, and that was like you'd walk down the fairway with just a styrofoam cup, you'd feel like a badass, and it just tasted better. No straw, just pure open lid, like raw dog the lemon lime Gatorade. But yeah, it is it's a world-class mixture.
Yeah, I was drinking tequila lemonades out of a styrofoam cup the other day, and I was like, "What? Does this taste better in a styrofoam cup?"
Tastes way better. My member guest, we were having transfusions out of plastic cups, and a transfusion in a plastic cup while you're taking a shower tastes way better.
Everything when you're drinking heavy, you know, in a shower is pretty good.
Yeah,
you throw a little bit of Pellegrino or Perrier or whatever in some of those transfusions just to get it make it last a little bit longer is pretty nice too. Pretty nice mixture. But our pals over at Triple Bogey get a pretty good one up here now too. So it's
I heard it's good.
Yeah, it's not too bad. So
pretty good.
Mikey, we appreciate this as always, man. We got to do it again. Looking forward to you guys kind of opening up things in Vancouver, getting the pod to get back going and whatnot. So if you're still with us at this point, we're going to link Mikey's socials down below, the Club Champion media page, everything else. Don't know if we'll get the Haywood clip down below, but definitely go watch it because Joshua's been on the pod in the past, and if you want to scroll back through, you can listen to that one. It was a pretty cool episode too. Mikey, thanks so much, pal.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate it.
He's out in my ball in the course, so I tee up. I lose a ball and I re-up. I miss a fairway, I probably end up in the ocean or maybe the beach. And I'm on a par 5 and I'm finna go reach it. Second was blind, I ain't see it. Feel like it might be an albatross, worst case scenario.